Herzlich willkommen zum 36. DOK.fest München zur zweiten At-Home Edition. Wir sind hier im prachtvollen Silbersaal im Deutschen Theater hier in München. Normalerweise wäre hier ein Kino eingerichtet, wir haben aber unser Studio eingerichtet, um von hier mit den Filmemacherinnen und Filmemachern zu sprechen, um von hier die Preisverleihungen auch zu moderieren. Und ein Gespräch mit einer Filmemacherin werden wir jetzt gleich erleben. Mein Name ist Florian Schwarz, ich bin Sprecher und Moderator unter anderem beim Bayerischen Rundfunk. Wir sprechen jetzt über den Film Follow You Home der Regisseurin Kathrine Ravn Kruse, eine internationale Premiere auf dem DOK.fest München. Dieses Jahr läuft in der Reihe Panorama und wir sind live verbunden mit ihr in Kopenhagen. Welcome to Kathrine Ravn Kruse. Hello.
Hello, thank you very much.
Kathrine, you made this very interesting and tensing film, Follow You Home, about two brothers. It's about an asylum case in Denmark. And first of all, we would like to know a little bit more about you as a filmmaker. So how did you become a filmmaker, and especially a documentary filmmaker?
Yes, I studied film studies at Copenhagen University and different universities in England also. But then when I finished university, I went to New York to study at School of Visual Arts in New York because I needed the hands-on experience that I didn't get from university. And then after that, I started filming my first documentary film, which was a personal film about my alcoholic dad. And I did that for 3 years, and it premiered back in 2014. And yeah, then that's how I started my documentary career.
Great. And now we are talking about your film Follow You Home that runs on this year's DOK.fest. It's about two Afghanish brothers. They called Popal and Darmal. Popal found in Copenhagen a home. We talk about in this film, and we see a lot about a ruling asylum case here. This is the main plot of the film, where Darmal has to fight to stay at Copenhagen, to stay in Denmark. How did you find your protagonists? How did you find this case?
Well, actually, we had a common friend who said to us that he thought the two of us should meet. And I had actually just been, at that time, I'd been away for a year on maternity leave. So, and I didn't know what film I wanted to do. But he said, this guy, you should really meet him, and he has a really interesting story. I think you would connect very well. And then I thought, okay, I'll please set up a meeting. And I went there, and we instantly clicked. And I thought, well, he's such an amazing character and very talkative and social also. And I got very surprised because I had another idea of this refugee, how he would be, and he had so much energy, and he was so high on life, and I was thinking, wow, what an amazing person. You've been through all this throughout early days, and I thought, how can you be so strong, and how come you keep fighting? But then I also thought this story he told me was something that had happened, which was in the past, and I really wanted to make a film in the present. So I thought, how can I tell his story? And then he briefly mentions his little brother Darmal, and he suddenly changed the way he talked. He got very emotional about it, and I felt that there was something going on here between him and his little brother, and I asked him to tell more about him, and he said that he had been in Denmark for a year, and they were reunited after 9 years, which was a miracle, but that they were waiting to know the answer on his asylum case. And I thought, okay, here's, as you said, here is the main plot, but I also wanted to focus on the brothers' story.
And I think watching the film, you have the very strong feeling to be in the present, to be really with the two brothers, fighting through this case. Popal is fluent in Danish, so he's kind of perfectly integrated. His brother has to learn the language. He's some years behind him. You used a lot of very aesthetic slow motion pictures in these films where you see the brothers playing soccer or boxing. Did you use this stylistic element to show the contrast between the beautiful life in Denmark and on the other side this cool and very sterile and cold, realistic bureaucracy?
Yes, exactly. I really wanted to make that hard shift between the past and their dreams and their hopes for the future compared to this really raw reality while they are going through this case processing for 2.5 years.
It took 2.5 years to finish the film?
Actually, it took 4 years to make the film, but for Darmal to find out whether he could stay in Denmark or not took 2.5 years.
Yeah.
The asylum case processing.
2.5 years of uncertainty. You feel this all the time also in the film because he's just not knowing if he has to go back to Afghanistan, and this would be really dangerous for him. You have other protagonists in the film, which is a couple, a very warm and very open and very also realistic couple. I think they adopted Popal. Popal is living with them, is that right? And how did you find them?
Yeah. Well, they didn't adopt Popal because he was here for 5 years actually before he met the couple. But
okay.
So the couple, I know it's not part of the film how they met, but he met the couple 1 year before Darmal. He found Darmal, and that Darmal came to Denmark. But already before Darmal came, they were. Popal started calling the couple mom and dad. So he was already part of that family, that's correct. And it's a Christian family. And they brought him in, and then Darmal came along and they brought him in too. And the mother, Marete, she took Darmal under her wings a lot. And they bonded very strongly. And that expanded throughout the years I was filming.
And you could really see and feel also watching this film that it is like a family. He calls them mother and dad, and she gives a very strong hold to Darmal and to Popal also, and I think that's what also encouraged him to make the fight for his brother. Then we meet another protagonist. It's a human rights attorney, Anne Land. Very powerful woman, and she tries to win this case for Darmal. She's very lovely talking, because there's this one really hard scene I saw in the film where they are with the attorney talking about their past, because these two brothers lost their dad in a terror attack, which was horrible, and they had to describe it also for the asylum case. How difficult was this scene to shoot with the attorney and the two brothers?
Yes, I shot that scene myself. After 6 months, I had this amazing photographer coming along with me. But this one I did on my own. And actually, I didn't know the brothers very well at this time. I'd only known them for a few months. And of course, when you have been through so many terrible things at a very young age, and they've lost their parents, they've lost their siblings, they have one sister left in Afghanistan, they don't know where she is. But when you have been through so much trauma, it's very difficult to talk about. So I didn't know much about what had happened to them. I did hear something from the beginning when I met Popal, but you know, the emotions surrounding it I hadn't heard about, and I was filming this, and I actually, to me, it felt like Popal had never told anyone before about this incident, because as you said, the human rights lawyer, she's an amazing lawyer, but she's also very human. She's also very likable. She's so motherly. So she has a special gift to kind of reach out to Popal here and make him tell about it. And she needs to know all this to be able to take on the case. But I really think it was the first time that he told anyone this. And of course, it's very difficult to shoot a scene like this, also if you don't know people, because I feel like I'm in an sphere I'm not supposed to be. I'm listening to something I haven't earned my right yet to be so close to, it was very emotional, actually, filming that scene and finding out what he'd actually been through.
And I can imagine that's for a documentary filmer exactly what you just described, to be in the scene, to be professional behind the camera, but then emotionally to be totally involved in the characters. And that was, I think, very discreet but very intimate in this scene, and this worked very good, I think. Was a very strong moment. We just jump a little bit through the story in the film. Popal and Darmal get also someday into a fight. Popal was injured. For Darmal, this incident where he meet also the police, he's lowered his chances to get asylum in Denmark. What is the actual problem of racism in your country?
What way? What do you mean, the actual problem?
Because they were like attacked by racists in the subway, I think, in a train. And just actual, like in the year 21, how often are these incidents happening?
Well, there's a lot of hate crimes, and that is a big problem. Also, I think. For Popal, who is a person who likes, he likes to talk to everyone on the street, and he also likes to say something, well, not in a bad way, but he's just very open.
Yeah.
And it seems like in a way it's better, and it's really awful, but it seems like it's better to keep your head down a little bit. And that is a really bad thing going on. I have to say that in this incident, they were attacked by others in the same situation as them. So this one particularly wasn't racism, but I felt the racism with them when I followed them with my camera. I experienced the exact same racism as they do when they are here, which is really sad.
And just talking in general about this asylum subject, Denmark is the third richest country in the EU, and with the Social Democratic Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, she's quite strict with migrants and the migrant policy, people searching for asylum. How does this fit together in your eyes? The strictness and, on the other side, in our appearance, a very open country.
Yeah, I think I don't understand how she can keep on going with this very strict policy, because we are so many people here in Denmark who wants that to be changed, that we don't want it to be like this. And hopefully things are changing a little bit. But recently, Mette Frederiksen, in the beginning of this year, she said that the goal is to have no refugees coming to Denmark to apply for asylum. You know, and the argument was that because we need to integrate people better, but that's contradictory, because you can't say no people should come because we want to have better conditions to integrate people. So I don't understand how. I don't think it fits part of what the Danish population wants, but there's also another part of the Danish population who don't want this very strict politics.
Yes, but I think watching this film is quite positive and encouraging also, because as we continue now, this film shows the whole preparation and especially the tactic of this human rights lawyer, Anne Land, for the asylum case to get Darmal the possibility to stay in Denmark. Why would it be so dangerous, apart from being separated from his brother, to go back to Afghanistan?
For Darmal?
Yeah.
Well, that is because Popal escaped from Taliban. So they are looking after him. So if Darmal came back to Afghanistan, they would just take him as hostage and either get back to Popal through him or kill him.
Absolutely a horrible imagination if you have this all the time during this more than 2.5 years of this case, and that show is always shown also in the film. But as we talk now, and people maybe haven't seen the film or have seen the film in our festival because it's an online edition, we can say that there is a happy end. Darmal can stay. How was this moment of being in front of the courthouse and shooting this?
Yeah, well, actually, it was a scene that I didn't prepare at all, because at this point, I was so emotionally involved. So yeah. I was, that day, I don't think I was a director, because I was jumping when they came out. I was just jumping and I was so happy and I screamed and yelled. So I think I forgot how to be the director that day.
This is very sympathetic, Kathrine, and it was also very, I think you could feel it also in this moment. Even the scene was very close. You were very close to the brothers, to the attorney, and to the family, of course, to the Christian family. You had a very impulsive soundtrack, I think a very good rhythm in it. How long did you work on this?
Yes, I worked on it for 4 months with the composer, Martin Dierkop, and also the sound designer worked on it also for many months. So it was a really great collaboration between those two and I. So yeah, we worked on it for very long.
And it helps the film a lot. I think it's a really, in total, very nice and strong film. And the music helps also to get this rhythm also between these slow motion pictures and then these really tough reality, what we also see. Do you have any further projects right now? Your film is running now here on this festival, the DOK.fest München. What are your next steps or next ideas?
Yeah, my next idea is I think it's still within the younger generation. I think there's a lot of what's it called? Many young people in Denmark who are suffering a lot mentally, and I think
during the pandemic, or
also part of the pandemic, but not only related to that, in general. So I think we have a great system when it doesn't come to when it comes to mental illness. Our system isn't as strong as if it comes to physical illness, and I think we need to. I think the young people are trying to tell us something, and I would like to find out what.
Interesting. Of course, we will hear from you, and maybe you are with one of your next films also on the DOK.fest München. Kathrine Ravn Kruse, the director of Follow You Home. The film runs in our festival here. It is available until the 23rd of May. You can buy online cards. You can get the whole ticket for the whole festival. And I hope you join us also for some films from Denmark and watch this festival. Do you have online festivals in Denmark too right now?
Yes, it's going on right now. Copenhagen DOK.fest is on right now. So it's very exciting, and it's great that we can meet in this way, but it would be even better if we could meet physically.
Absolutely. We're all working on this very, very hard to get really back to kind of a normality that we sit not here like via Zoom, but via in reality. Kathrine, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All the best, and hope to see you soon, and good luck with your film, and to the two brothers if you are still in contact with them.
And I think I will tell them.
Thank you very much. Und an dieser Stelle noch der kurze Hinweis, Follow You Home läuft eben natürlich hier auf dem DOK.fest bis zum 23. Mai und ist nominiert für den Kino-Publikumspreis, gestiftet vom BR und Dreisat.